Alright YouTube, this is 2 Cent back with my 2 cents on OCTOPATH TRAVELER, and it's been 60 days since the game released, and I'm about 200 hours into the game. Granted, some of that's just been AFK while I'm filming videos or doing some other things, so let's call it a good 180 hours of actual playtime in there. And I kind of wanted to just show you guys a little bit of where my account is as a 100% free-to-play player who's still been able to save back 3,000 gems for, upcoming banners and stuff like that, and update you guys on my thoughts of how free-to-play friendly I think this game is. I did a video about that, one of my very first videos for Octopath a couple months ago now, so I wanted to just, give you my, more informed thoughts now, as I'm seeing some other people, in our comment sections and on Reddit and different forums like that, just talking about roughly that issue. So I'll give you my 2 cents on it, and talk about it down below in the comments. It's okay if you don't agree with me, that's fine, and if you do agree with me, that's fine. Let's not beat up the other people who don't. That's okay. We can have a different opinion on it. So let's kind of get into that, looking at some of the account here. All right, first things first. Not that anybody was claiming otherwise, but you can see there I don't have any paid gems. Granted, I understand that probably doesn't 100% rule out the fact that I somehow didn't just use them, but you guys gotta take my word for it at this point. Honestly, this is actually one of my first times being in the shop, and I didn't even realize these deals are here. I haven't done the math on them. I don't know if these deals are any good, so let me know down below if you guys think, the current deals. I see they're going to be running out here soon, so if they're good deals, let people know down below for those people who spend money out in the game. So, but yeah, I've been able to save back. If you guys see my recent poll video, I was all the way down to about 3,000 gems. So over the last couple days with the updates of the Traveler stories, and I got quite a few new Travelers, I've just been grinding away at getting those stories done, and I've managed to get myself back up to 384 gems there, from where I was. So we're on pace to, hopefully by the next banner, I'm really looking at going for, to be back over our 4 to 5k mark. All right, here's a quick look at my ranks for my influences. They're at that 24 and 25 there. So basically, as you're doing story, you do get a lot of this. However, there's quite a bit to be had from leveling up your units and going through and getting all the influence, nodes inside of their job trees. So what I do is anytime that I have a max level unit when I'm, doing my, hunts, if I can fit them in for my, and still meet my influence thresholds, or when I'm doing my Kate farming through, ads or just going out in the world, I want to make sure that I am always bringing people who are either helping to increase my XP up, like people who are in the back slot like Mini or something like that, or people who really need the XP who just aren't at max yet, because I want to get every single influence node on every single unit I own, and continuously level them up to get the ones that I still need, just to push these levels up higher and get those nice sort of influence buffs for the different hunts that I might be doing, to make sure I don't have to worry about not bringing units that I want to get the shards for, because I can make up for all the influences that I need on other units that I've already leveled. Sorry if that was confusing, but I'll show you a little bit here when we get to hunts. Alright, so for example, here's my hunt team. This is for our new expert level hunts. This is my 600 influence power team that I'm bringing along to those battles to make sure I get all the different chests from it. And I'm using quite a few of these characters, Theo, Sigrid, Lucetta, the Fiora, Lynette, and Gilderoy are all on my team most of the time anyway, so I'm trying to make as much use of them to kind of get them up, as well as I have Rita and Maybell sitting in here to provide me that extra sort of influence. I need to hit that 600 mark. My regular hunts, I use a 500 team, so I can fit some more of the units that I'm, actually using on my team, because you don't need more 500 for the regular one. So just make sure you play around with this to get where you need to go, but also keep as many people on your team as that you can actively use the shards for. So like in my 4-star units here, I'm actively trying to class them up so I can get the extra, 1000 HP to kind of help carry me through some of the fights later on. Alright, so here's the one that I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for here, and then just kind of a current list of my units and where they're at. This is sorted by rarity there. I'm currently working on Theresa. I also just got Lynette. I was able to get her to 5 stars as well, so that's been super helpful to my team just recently. However, I completed all the the main story mode and everything like that before having those two, so you're kind of looking at that. Actually, I didn't even have Gilderoy yet by the time I beat the current kind of story mode. Besides the bestower stories that are coming out, just last week, and you'll kind of see that in a second here. I haven't actually started that one yet. So this is just, I guess I've had decent luck in pulling. I've probably done about 13 multi-pulls, so 130 units basically. And I do think what has kind of helped me is I've tried to just do the step-ups like 1 and 2 for any step-up banner that comes out. And it's kind of helped me just pick up a couple 5 stars here and there for real, light spending as far as my rubies are concerned. And then pulling on the Odette banner was actually really helpful for me because it really classed up and gave me a lot of 4 stars that I didn't already have. And yeah, I put in 1,800 rubies and I only seen 2 4.5 stars. But I think now that I've kind of put that many in and gotten a bunch of the 4 stars kind of figured out, that it'll really kind of help my account going forward. And there's been some talk about, should a free-to-play player focus on the step-ups and doing those, or at least the first couple of that, or should they be focusing on doing these banners to get that 4-star benefit? And I think you might look at doing a little bit of both. And of course, it's really hard to min max, especially as a free-to-play player, because you have a lack of resources compared to other people who can, just pay and get whoever they want. But pulling on those step-up banners really kind of help limit your cost and kind of, might give you a nice little reward on top of it. But you are going to still be using a lot of 4-star units to help you kind of clear some of the content. So going on those limited banners that are 4-star only can really kind of help with that, as it's not easy to class up, units anyway. It's hard to get the more rare drops that you need, and it costs a lot to have to do the exchange on them. So that's kind of my opinion on it. Is I'm still very much a step-up sort of a person, but if you're a new account and you don't have a lot of 4 stars, you need to fill that out. Throwing 600, 900 rubies over at one of the limited banners to get those 4 stars isn't a bad idea in my opinion. So let me know down below what you kind of think about that. I think it's just kind of interesting to hear the different opinions and approaches that players have out there. So now let's take a look at what my account hasn't done, what I'm currently working on. So actually you can see here, this is just my quest list. You see Bestower of Power up there, the one that just unlocked. I haven't done that one yet, so that's definitely on my list of things to do, but should be a piece of cake. The other 2 story ones didn't cause me any problems. I don't imagine this will cause me any issues either. However, you also see the invite to the tournament down there. I was gone on vacation the week the tournament came out, and I'm telling you what, I still have not caught up to even attempt this tournament yet. I was going to sit down and do it the other day, but then I was able to pull Lynette and Theresa, and then I was like, man, both of these would be really good to use in that tournament. So I decided I was going to hold off a few more days, get them leveled up and the appropriate gear for them, and then take them into that fight to give it a shot rather than worrying about it now. And I do think that is one of the most interesting pieces of this game. I'm used to playing a lot of gacha games that you have a time limited event, you need to do this within 2 weeks, and if you can't, then you don't get the rewards from it. Octopath doesn't have that as an issue, so we can just kind of take our time on it. So I haven't worried about trying to rush the tournament, a whole heck of a lot. So definitely, things that I'm working on: Bestower of Power, the Tiki-Lin Cup tournament, getting in there and getting some goes on that. And then the third thing is I'm still kind of working on just farming battle-tested weapons. So, that's the 3 focuses of my account. Basically, every time that I get Traveler stories and I'm logging for the day, my kind of methodology is, okay, do all of my dailies and get all those done, and then do my Traveler stories. And then once I've caught up on all the Traveler stories, that's when I go and I do some of the storyline content, or working on the battle tested stuff, or doing the extra sort of farming for the Tower of Remembrance. So I probably need to prioritize those things a little bit more over the Traveler stories, but my mind is, once they're out of the way, then I just like having a clear quest log. So that's on me. I need to reprioritize that. But this kind of gives you an idea of where my account's at and the things that I can do with it as a completely free-to-play player. So this is going to bring me into, and I'm going to keep the discussion as short as I can because I really want to hear from everybody down there in the comment section about what you think about the free-to-play ability of this game. All right, so here's my thoughts on it. And like I said in the beginning, you can disagree with me. That's okay. It's not going to hurt my feelings. All I want to know is, why you think different, down below. If you can explain yourself of why you think this is a trash game or trash rates or anything like that, that's fine. It's a good, good to have your own opinion about things. And just, try to be nice down there as we kind of talk about what might be a harder topic for some individuals who might be new to gachas or just tired of, gachas and the, methodology that they use. So, to me, I like to try to define a little bit of things here. So when we talk about free-to-play friendliness, are we talking about the ease of getting the units you want and being able to use those units in content? If that's the case, then that's going to be subjective based off the amount of units that you want. If you want all of them as a collector, then no, it's not free-to-play friendly because there's no possible way as a free player, like not paying player, that you can get all of these units, at least not anytime soon. Over time down the road, you might get the units that come out in this first 6 months, but it might be a year and a half in before you ever get a first copy of them. So, like, as far as that goes, then no, we would say then it's not free-to-play friendly. Now, my definition's a little bit different. Mine is, am I having fun on the game? And am I able to complete the content in the game in the timetables that they give me to complete it? So, if the Tikulin Cup was time limited, I had 2 weeks, and if I didn't get it done in that 2 weeks, it would go away and I would lose out on being able to add Tikulin to my team or something like that. Then I would say then this game is definitely not free-to-play friendly because it's going to take people, especially if they weren't following and looking ahead at the cups, that there was no way that they could reorganize and get a team ready to go if they didn't know until the day it dropped. It just wouldn't be possible. In that way, because nothing is limited like that, and I'm certainly an example of being able to defeat all the story mode content without needing to even use all the currency I got as a free-to-play player to spend on the banners. And granted, I only have 3,300 gems, so funny enough, there's a chance you could pull on a banner and not get a single 5-star with that. But you could get other, the shards that would help you, limit break up or awaken up your 4-star units if you wanted. So different things like that, or maybe even that you could trade in to move a 4.5 star to a 5-star. So I was able to actually do that with some, silver guide stones that I wasn't using to be able to move Lynette from 4.5 to 5-star. I really thought she was going to be the better of the two for my team to kind of really add a lot to it. So I did that. So basically, to keep this as short as possible, I do think OCTOPATH TRAVELER is very free-to-play friendly, as long as your outset or your mindset is just to be able to complete content inside of the time limits that they give you to do it, which is really an infinite amount of time. And you could say, well, maybe that's just a kind of a cop-out, and I'd say, well, it's at least different than a lot of the other games that I've played. A lot of people love to compare to Genshin, and I find it difficult to compare to that because there's so much things different, unique about that game compared to others. But even if we use that as a an indicator here, there's still time limited content in that game, such as like the Abyss that you need to do on a monthly basis there, or a bi-monthly basis, I think, and twice a month. That's what I mean by monthly. So if those sorts of games are having that, then it's kind of nice that OCTOPATH doesn't. So as you're kind of thinking about it or anything like that, let me know your thoughts on what you kind of think. But with inside of those mindsets. Let me know where you're at as far as how you're defining free to play before you just tell me I'm crazy or this game is the worst or something like that. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this kind of different video here, and that's been my 2 cents.